Come on over here, baby. Talk big and be brave. It's not your only reputation you're trying to save. Had you under observation, you're into various pain. Desperate men do desperate things. Come on out of your daydream. Go.
Well, they put a stent in my arm to mess my hand up. I don't know what's wrong with it.
For blood flow? Is that why?
Yeah, that's what they done it for. This one messed my hand up. I know that.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's sore, I'm telling you. I mean sore.
Fuck, well, we brought a turkey.
You did?
Or stay back here?
You know what goes good with cookies? Mushrooms.
Yeah!
Anthony Adams, give it up. Thank you, Hippie. And I said we have to play it because it's called Be Hippie.
Well, I think like a hippie, I love like a poet, I act like a human, wouldn't you know it? I worry about others, probably more than I should, but I won't give up the fight for the greater good. Well, I'm a believer of sorts, but not in religion, not a popular stance, but I have my reasons. I'm a spiritual man, I turn to the nature, Mother Earth is my goddess, let's all try to save her. 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 There are times in our lives when all seems lost. Every breath that you take comes at a true cost. When all else has failed, just look deep within you. The light you'll discover is the only real truth. come and take it back. It's not some far off land that takes years to get to. It's inside all of us, and it's the only way through. Love is the only way through. It's the only way. Oh, the only way through. I think like a hippie, I love like a poet, I act like a human, wouldn't you know it? I'm a spiritual man, I turn to the nature. Mother Earth is my goddess, let's all try to save her. Let's all try to save her. Let's all try to save her. Save her. That's off to Hippie Jack.
So it's a beautiful night. Feels so right. We do a little story kind of thing. We take us down from here, although it feels much better right now than it does in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. But we're going to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, talking about a fellow named Mr. Jim and the stuff you can only get in Mississippi called coconut moonshine. It's a little story about Mr. Jim. Mississippi way, a place about Ocean Springs. There's a barbecue joint they call the Shed between Mobile and New Orleans. Between Mobile and New Orleans, we're gonna talk about Mr. Jim. He's the soul of the place. There ever since the bar been open, and he will till his dying day. Will till his dying day. G-Malls in the kitchen, got a band playing tonight. A full moon looking like a coconut, hanging up in the sky, hanging up in the sky. Along come Mr. Jim in that coconut moonshine. Prettiest woman in the whole damn bar, dancing right by his side, dancing right by his side. And that coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine. The band was sounding good, a sunny day, long time down. An old-timey mason jar, Jim passing around, Jim passing around. Oh, it tastes so good, oh, it tastes so sweet. Tastes like fresh raw coconut milk, but it burns like candy. It burns like candy. Blame it on Mr. Jim, that coconut moonshine. Won't tell anybody where he got it, but it sure makes him dance in time. Makes him dance in time. Coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine. Now summertime way down south, a song about Mr. Jim, the baddest man in the whole dancing like an Anthony Quinn. Dance like Anthony Quinn. You're gonna dance away your troubles, dance away your fears, dance away yesterday like tomorrow's already here. Tomorrow's already here. Coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine. This is how it feels when you take a little shot of that coconut moonshine. Pretty women, I'll tell you what he'll do. He'll grab you by the hand, pull you in the sand, and dance all night with you. You're gonna dance all night with you. All you pretty women, he don't mean no harm. Sweat be dripping from between your legs and underneath your arms. Underneath your arms. That coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine, coconut moonshine. Song about Mr. Jim.
Y'all have been really great to play for. We'll take you down the road with one called Dead Man's Cove. Yep, me and Patty was back behind the hill. Was a rundown shack where lived a man and his name's Bootleg Bill. People come from far and near to get a little taste. Was the best at what he done and the moonshine was his trade. Was a man shouter. Here's what he made, he was a moonshiner till his dying day. Yeah! Heard sing the word got out in Cross County wide. The end of his moonshine was spreading like wildfire. Was it the corners, is it the still, or the water from his well? What made that liquor so damn good, no one could ever tell. Was a moonshiner. Oh, here's what he made. He was a moonshiner till his dying day. Well, it used to be that Sheriff Jones sold liquor to the town. He ain't sold one single quart since Bill's been around. Well, Bill didn't know that he had crossed a crooked man. The Sheriff Jones knocked on the door with a pistol in his hand. Was a moonshiner, all liquor's what he made. He was a moonshiner till his dying day. Where historians and it's not for the faint of heart. Jeff Jones pulled the trigger and they're still all apart. Oh, the blood red whiskey spilled and let in that lead flow. Sweetest liquor that ever was called from that man's Cove. Was a moonshiner, all liquor's what he made. He was a moonshiner till his dying day. Was a moonshiner, all liquor's what he made. He was a moonshiner till his dying day. Thank you very much.
How about that, huh? No. Call him back. We don't have much tape. Call him back. Come on. Come on, I'm going to go get a drink. We'll be right back.
Thank y'all so much. Take your seats now. All right, thank you so much. We'll do you one now. This is the first track on our latest release, which is called Steady Operator. Here's your one. It goes like this. It's called Sparkle City.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Seems like all my life, riding on the razor's edge, trying to keep it in the white, doing anything I got, just to get me down the line. It's a long road to destruction, son, I'm making time. Hear the voices calling on the all-night radio, telling me they know a place where men like me can go, but you never feel no sorrow, and you never take the blame. Lord, it's a land of easy living. Sparkle City, gas and mayhem. Sparkle City, do you think I'll ever see bright lights of your promenade shining down on me? Well, I'm headed your direction, running through the night. Sparkle City, keep on running till I get it right. Tell me, Sparkle City, she's a rambling man's dream. Ain't no police there, slow you down. The highway's straight and clean. They got pretty girls there for you. They're ready in their billowing. And then 20 in your pocket might as well be a million. Sparkle City, do you think I'll ever see the bright lights of your promenade shining down on me? Well, I'm headed your direction, running through the night. Sparkle City, keep on running till I get it right. politics. They can't drag me down no more. I don't worry about where I've been, now that I know just where I'm bound. Fast as I can, Sparkle City. Can't you see I'm hammered down? Sparkle City, do you think I'll ever see the bright lights of your promenade shining down on me? Well, I'm headed to direction, running through the night, Sparkle City. Keep on running, running till I get it. Thank you so much, Bobby Brett, Jesse Langley, Philip Barker.
Moved here in 1972 from South Florida. Munch, Mississippi. Nana is from New York, but she had escaped down there, and we escaped from down there together to get up here. I like to tell people we weren't raised here, but we got here as quick as we could. I think I'd been 21 about an hour. The thing about it is, when we moved here, it was, it's great now, but it was different then. And the deal is that we knew a lot of people, man. We knew a lot of people. Clarence Hammock, Ray Cantrell, Les Brown, Cleety Canancer, Dallas Spicer, Lamar Lacey, Harris Wendell, Richard Knight, Cleety Canancer. Did I say Cleety Canancer? He liked to kill me in the Cedar. He working out of Cedar Field with him one time at the old Cedar View Inn. Liked to kill me. Thank God he needed beer by 3 in the afternoon. I'd have never made it. Just Leland Allred, Jack Bilbrey, Vestal Dixon. Are you Vince Walker, who lived in the cabin before we did? It was an extraordinary amount of people. And I didn't know any of their politics. People didn't seem to argue or fight or divide themselves up over Democrat and Republican so much then. I know that Charles Langford was a Republican because the boys got together and painted "Vote Democrat" on his white horse one time. And that's mostly thanks to Doyle Simcox, I'd say. So it was different then. It was more old school. People helped each other. You helped your neighbors. If your neighbor needed something, you helped them. There was no questions asked. And I started taking pictures almost immediately. We camped out up at Nobody's Mountain for a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, and there were some ponies up there. They weren't my ponies, but they were ponies that weren't getting quite enough to eat, and they escaped one day, and over the mountain they went. And being the industrious and quite helpful young hippie freak that I was, I went after them, followed their little pony prints all the way around the mountain till I lost them. They went on up into the woods, I guess. And I kind of wandered up that way myself, and I walked down this little ridge line, and I was getting a little nervous and a little bit lonesome to get back because Mississippi was waiting for me, making bread at the Volkswagen bus at the campsite. I was getting hungry, but I saw smoke, and I smelled smoke first, and then I saw it, looked for it, kind of over the way a little bit, over the ridge, walked over that way, came to a chestnut rail fence. And down below that rail fence, maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 yards away, it was a cool cabin. I mean, not a log cabin, but a wood cabin. And it was so historically significant, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It looked like something in a living museum. And the next thing I knew, this small pack of dogs came running out after me. And really, there was no running. They'd have caught me halfway up the hill. So I stood my ground, and about that time, this guy in Gauss overalls and homespun shirt and bare feet and felt hat and a kind of a stubbly beard came popping out of the house, came walking up to the split rail fence and kind of yelled at the dogs, which decided they weren't going to kill me. And we started to talk. And I found out later Claude didn't visit with just anybody, but I guess I looked like somebody that made sense to him. I had the longest hair I could ever have. I'm sure I was wearing an army hat and some kind of an old beat-up jacket and had on army boots. Old, just heavy-duty, lace-up boots. And he asked me who I was, and I told him. I told him I'd been thrown out of Massachusetts, which seemed to sit with him well, that I'd moved to South Florida, and I'd met what I was, I guess, getting ready to be my wife-to-be then, and that we had moved together up here in Tennessee, and I lived around the bend in Copeland Cove in a Volkswagen bus, but I was looking for land. And then he told me about it himself, that he was the last of his family, that all his brothers had died. He was the seventh son and the only one that lived. All the other brothers died in childbirth or shortly after that. Then his father died, and then his mother died, and then it was just Claude living in this house on this pretty little farm with a beautiful spring. And I thought, man, this was like the third person I'd met in Tennessee, so I just assumed everybody was like this. And he invited me down to his house to sit for a little bit, and I went with him. And it was like walking into a museum. I mean, there was a flintlock over the door. There was handmade quilts on corn husk mattresses and homemade beds. There was a fire in the fireplace, which was mostly just slow-burning, glowing logs. The door remained cracked open because that's what you did. There was a kitchen room in the back with a never-fail cook stove that opened at both ends and didn't have warmers. And there was 2 frying pans and a wash basin and a rag. And I assume he had a little bit of food stashed somewhere, but there wasn't exactly, wasn't the land of plenty. And we talked some more, and we talked more about how we both ended up there. He started out there, and I ended up there. And he invited me to spend the night, and I generously declined, and I knew I needed to get back. She'd have been freaking out, and so I did. But within the week, I was back with the camera, and it started with this photograph right here. And then it was on, and this is one of the first photographs that I managed to weasel my way into having the American History Museum at the Smithsonian accept into their collection. This is the Hermit House. So after that one visit, there were many visits, and after that, there were many stories. And, towards the end, it was hard for Claude. He was sick. He had a bad growth on his arm, and he was unhealthy. And my friend Jesse Dixon, who took him wood, found him passed out in front of the stove, in front of the fireplace one day. Took him to the hospital and called me. And, I was still young enough to think I knew everything. And I went right down to the hospital just to explain to them how important a man they had in there. Of course, they all knew who he was. A couple of them were probably kin to him. And they said, "You want to visit him?" And I said I did. And they took me to his room, and he was all shaved and washed and propped up in bed with several milks and jellos and remains of whatever he'd been eating for the last hour. And we were completely out of context with each other, and I didn't know really what to say to Claude. I'd made some small talk about when he'd be back and all that. And then I thought, well, I'm going to go. And I asked him, "Claude, do you want me to turn on the TV? Have you ever seen TV?" He said, "I've heard of it. I've heard of it." I said, "Well, would you like to watch it?" And he said, "I believe I would." So I hit the little switch and turned on the TV, and what comes on? Sesame Street. Big Bird. And when I left, and the last time I saw Claude, he was watching Big Bird on Sesame Street. Because Claude died that night, he showed them.
up this morning with an old song in your head. Spilled wine glass and a stranger in your bed. Well, his boots were on and the sheets were burgundy red. Boombox sits on a table against the wall. There's stacks and stacks and stacks of tapes are ready to fall. Well, your white dress lays all alone there in the hallway. Honey, look out the window at the birdies all in a line. You can just see through the blood that's in your eyes. He don't move anywhere, he just lies and lies and lies. Ain't it lonesome, lonesome when you can't even remember the name? Ain't it lonesome, lonesome, you can't even remember the names. You say never, 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 never again. Never. I hear the church bells ringing, the neighbors are locking the door. Stranger rolls over 2 times and asks for one more. You crawl in the kitchen, hey man, why's the party in the kitchen? And you hit the floor. Oh, you woke up this morning with an old song in your head. Spilled wine glass and a stranger in your bed. Well, his boots were on and the sheets were burgundy red. You say never, 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 never again. Thank you.
This might be the first time that a number of you have appeared before me. So I would imagine after that you're a little nervous. But I'd like to remind you, you get what you pay for. Well, woman I love is named Ramona. She kinda looks like Tempest Stormin'. She can dance like a little Egypt. She works down at the snake farm. Snake farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake farm, it pretty much is snake farm. It's a reptile house, snake farm. Ooh. Well, Ramona's got a keen sense of humor. She got a tattoo down her arm, it's of a python eating a little mouse, wearing a sailor hat that says Snake Farm. Snake Farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake Farm, it pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. I asked Ramona how come she works there. She says, well, it's got its charm. There's nothing to do in the winter. Now then some kid gets bit at the snake farm. Snake farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake farm, it pretty much is snake farm. It's a reptile house, snake farm. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention something. This is a sing-along. Really. Here goes Snake Farm. It just sounds nasty. Snake Farm pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. Ooh. Ain't exactly kumbaya. But it's jamming at Hippie Jack, so it ought to be appropriate, right? Huh? So help me now. I go Snake Farm, just sounds nasty. Snake Farm, pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. Getting into it now. Ramona likes malt liquor and a band from Wales that was called The Alarm. Said she cried when they broke up. She still plays the records at the Snake Farm. Snake Farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake Farm, pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. Sometimes Ramona calls me up, says, come on down here, it's getting warm. And she runs everybody off and we, Snake Farm. Snake Farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake Farm, it pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. Ooh, help me now. I said Snake Farm, it just sounds nasty. Snake Farm, it pretty much is Snake Farm. It's a reptile house, Snake Farm. It doesn't get any better than this. Really, it didn't get any better at all.
Gonna sit right down in my easy chair, break out a deck of cards, I'm gonna play some solitaire. Break out a bottle, wash me a glass, keep me company till this feeling's past. Everybody's got something to do. Me, I just sit here and think about you. It might seem hopeless, but it ain't that bad yet. It's just the blues as blues can get. I need to call somebody, someone I can trust. Do you have the number for Lovers Anonymous? I'll tell them my story, hope that they understand. Maybe they can explain it because I don't think I can. I take your picture down from the wall, try to remember the thrill of it all. I'm going crazy, but I ain't crazy yet. It's just the blues as blues can't get. It's just the blues as blues can get. I know it's over, but it ain't over yet. No, it's just the blues as blues can get. It's just the blues as blues can get.
This is Hands on the Fiddle. And these are the hands of my old friend Ray King, who owned and operated the Imperial Hotel in Monterey, Tennessee. Years before, his brother owned and operated it, and he operated a hardware store, but they decided to swap, which they did. And the hotel just suited Ray. He lived in there. I believe he lived in there with his wife and daughter for a long time. And we did a lot of photographs around the old hotel. It was getting kind of rough, but it was still intact. And it was like a boarding house where people would stay, salesmen would stay. When they came to the plateau from Nashville in that area, they would stay there the night, and then they would go out on the mountain to the coal mines and you know, take their wares and do their sales out there. Maybe to the company stores, probably more to them than anybody. But that's what Ray's place was all about. And Ray, he kept and traded on and demonstrated a lot of antique instruments. Ray was really cool about that, old banjos, guitars, fiddles. And there was one particular fiddle, and it was his family fiddle. And I caught him one day late in the afternoon, and the light was just right through those big west windows. It was late in the day. And I sat him down in his big Ray King chair and got that fiddle on his lap just right, got his hands arranged just right, shot it in a medium format Hasselblad, and it just was one of those moments. And I'm proud of this picture for a lot of reasons, and for as much anything, the whole series, it fits with the whole series I did of Ray King, who was he was gracious and kind enough to play Tex Ritter whatever they are on gramophones, wax rolls. Before I'd leave, he'd always make me listen to Tex Ritter, and it would take you back to a different time. Ray King, man. Hands on the fiddle.
You got the magic of a mermaid. You swim where I drown. Now I need you now more than ever. My ship is going down. The devil, he stole my soul. Too much idle time. I'm crawling just like a snake. The devil, he owns my mind. He's driving me straight to hell. Now I was wise when I was with you. I died with you a million deaths. Every time I was born again, but the last time you took my breath, you left me never to breathe again, never to breathe again. Hope, give me strength to hold on. Give me life, give me hope, give me strength to hold on. I need one more day to rise above this jail. I need one more day to rise above this hell. Walls are wet and cold. Inside this bottomless hole. Your fingernails slip on the slime. It's harder and harder to climb. I'm sinking deeper, deeper into hell. Thoughts bleed down my face. My brain wears a thorny crown. Look out, Johnny Ace. What a devil coming back to town. To give your guns to me. To give your guns to me. To give your guns to me. Strength to hold on. Give me life, give me hope, give me strength to hold on. I need one more day to rise above this chair. I need one more day to rise above this hell. Thank you. Mr. Corky Hughes on the guitar, ladies and gentlemen. I saw you walking down the street today. Ooh, baby, look so fine. The way you shake that thing, baby, gonna break my mind today. I know you don't know who I am, and I know you don't even care. If that's the case, baby, please put on some underwear. Say, this is a song just for you, baby. Well, this is a song just for you, player. This is a song just for you, baby. This is a song just for you, player. You got your devil in your dragon's eye, you got a black girl in your ass. I like the way you drink your wine from a coffee glass. What's that? And what you gotta give it to me, because you can't take it with you when you go. I'm an old dog, baby, please let me lay on the floor. Say, this is a song just for you, baby. This is a song just for you, man. This is a song just for you, baby. This is a song just for you. Let's say it now. To me, oh, give it to me, I want your love. That's for y'all and Hippie Jacks and this whole wonderful thing. It's all about love, love, love.
How did that go?
Like I said, his secretary called back and said that they were taking it out of everybody's check and there was nothing they could do.
And did they say why they were taking it out?
No, she didn't.
She didn't.
Just as they say now that everybody's check, so I guess that's it.
It must have something to do with Medicare or something.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I understand it's the state of Tennessee.
God bless Tennessee. So you. And then there's the why. Why are we doing it? What's the outreach all about? What's my motives? What the heck? I had a little set to with a guy this week. That's on my own fault. My own fault. I shouldn't take the bait. I shouldn't. And you know, once again, this time the feeling was, and I get it, that I'm facilitating certain people that are bad people that have been known to steal for dope, and it's true. And I don't know what to say. I don't know how to weed them out. And if I were smarter, if I had some kind of superpowers where I could tell who was deserving or who wasn't, maybe I could skip a stop or two. It just seems like, this.
Rainbow sign, don't you see? God gave no rainbow sign, no more water but the fire next time. Hide me, old rock of ages, clear for me. Said I hide me, old rock of ages, clear for me. Yeah. Yes, I have me old rock of ages clear for me. I have me old rock of ages clear for me. I have me old rock of ages clear for me.
Appreciate y'all hanging out for Outlaw Gospel, everybody.
So many of the people in the beginning helped us so much, Doyle Simcox, so much, that Tom and May Bilbrey and Leland Allred helping us with our gardens. I think back, Jack Bilbrey showing me how to drink whiskey. No, that was Vince Walker. Jack Bilbrey showed me how not to. It's just a payback thing. And if we can indeed keep some from being too hungry or too cold or too hopeless, I think mostly the important thing, the niche we fill, is that we do like these people, and we do enjoy being with them, and they know that. And it's weird now because with the virus I haven't gone up there, and it's just very weird now because I miss seeing them. And they know the deal, but they still give me a bucket of shit about it. So anyway, we do it because we want to, and there seems to be a need, and it just seems to be a job we've been handed.
Had you under observation, you're into various pain, desperate men do desperate things. Come on out of your daydream, go some other place, wipe the tears from your eyes.